And we're live. Slowly going back as we're waiting. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Live Reality Game Shows podcast, where we are here to talk about Scotty Survivor, Lost in Time. Joining me is Survivor Michigan Mason Confused and upcoming All Star player, Erin. We've missed you.
Hello, thank you. I have missed being here. I've had many thoughts in the past couple episodes and devastated that I haven't had an outlet to project them. Um, Still in mourning over my winner pick going in episode 2. Very much tragedy.
Here, my winner pick went of last season also went home episode 2.
Okay. That makes me feel better.
Yeah. So Naomi is too busy having a social life, and Shane's too busy doing schoolwork, so he'll be here shortly. So while we're waiting, since you missed the first 2 episodes, well, the last 2 episodes, let's hear your thoughts and opinions on them. As you mentioned, your winner pick Lauren went home. What was it like witnessing that?
It was a tragedy. It was devastating. I thought it was like I was. I will say, I was like throughout episodes 1 and 2, I was definitely like disappointed in her gameplay. I I saw a lot more potential from her in her, pregame press, I guess, that, really gave us nothing. So I that was just me, I guess, projecting what I wanted her to be. But I don't know. She definitely she did it to herself. She shot herself in the foot, told a lot of unnecessary lies, you know, talked like she did have that relationship with Unique that did not keep a secret. So it's it was just disappointing, I think, more so than anything. And then to see it actually come to fruition, like after she had already kind of established herself in a 3-person alliance in week 1, and then just for that alliance to flip on her right away, it doesn't
And
really make much positivity there.
no, and all that fake idol drama.
Exactly. Yeah, she was playing the fake idol. Oh, that was a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
And then speaking of a lot, episode three's tribal council.
yeah, that one was
And
more. One was more.
what were you thinking just watching that whole ordeal of pre-tribal and then tribal?
the The title quote of episode 3, like, you are calling me a liar, sir. The way Parker delivered that line, it killed me. Oh my god. I Obviously Parker has his choices, he has his personality, but I think he is fantastic TV. He does not, he's not doing it on purpose. He is not putting on the show for us. This is just who he is, and it is my favorite thing to watch. It was so funny. But to watch all of that go down, and you have to I do respect the kind of decision to prioritize what they perceived as like an in-game close relationship over an out-of-game close relationship. Like they were like, let's target the in-game one instead, which it does make sense if you think of it like that. But it obviously that wasn't really an in-game close relationship. So I think that
Yeah,
was also that was not the best decision, but I think it did make for an entertaining tribal.
yeah, and then oh, poor like Tina and Nadia getting caught, and then just whole like, shit, what do we do?
But literally, the initial lie of oh, we just found out we had mutual friends. Like, no,
And some people actually kind of fell for it.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. People need to it's Survivor's a hard game because you really do need to read into everything.
Yeah, people really need to make sure like maybe delete a couple of photos.
Right. Right, exactly. And then what was it? Like this I know we're not to it yet, but this episode, it was I think Nadia was saying oh, I can't believe I didn't have our social media manager scrub scrub all the things before this.
I think that's a good segue because it's pre no, not pre, post Joe getting voted off. Sorry to see you go, Joe. And then everyone's just pretty much talking like Nadia mentions, oh, now's a good time to start blocking and deleting photos of me and Tina.
Yeah, after that's all come out. Very smart.
Yeah, very great. I'm gonna do this thing that's like I'm trying to think of I was trying to think of something to compare it to, but thoughts left my mind.
Hmm.
Um, Everybody was surprised that the vote was unanimous. Were you surprised when you saw it was a unanimous vote?
I based on the edit, I would say yes, because it did seem like there was kind of a lot of traction forming behind the anti, Tina and Nadia sentiment. But I do think that like Viv and Ricky were very much in the kind of power position, and they kind of could have gone either way. So I think that they probably clued in, Haley and it was Haley and Valen,
Runjin.
Runjin, right? Yeah, Haley and Runjin, who like maybe weren't going to vote Joe, but I think that it was the smart decision on Haley and Runjin's part if they knew that Joe was actually the one going out to, make that vote. I love you too, Akshay.
Yeah. Yeah, Erin is the GOAT. Best to have never have won so far. Because we don't know what happens in All Stars. She could win the season. Maybe in our minds. Oh yeah, these people are just like everybody was surprised it was a unanimous vote. Parker believes it was unanimous because he preaches tribe unity. Oh, this kid is just
Yeah,
I don't know whether to be annoyed with him or kind of feel sorry for him because he's so unaware.
he's
Just
devastating there.
like the lack of self-awareness on this kid.
I
It's like,
think I think it just all comes from ego though,
yeah.
So that's where I'm like, I don't really feel bad because I feel like it's all his ego. Like he's like, oh, I said this, so obviously everyone, it swayed everyone's opinion.
We'll get into Parker's ego once we talk about
Oh
his
yeah.
reaction to the challenge.
Oh yeah.
And then, like, Tina and Nadia, are they pretty much screwed?
I think, yeah, considering really the only person that they have backing them up right now is Parker, that's not the best person to have in your corner. So I feel like unless they get better conversations with people, unless they get better allies, or just one, all it takes is like one good ally. Like if they just get Viv in their corner, they're going to be fine. But
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, Vivian kind of controls the tribe because she can go either way. Because we kind of see Ricky looking like he's going to flip,
Mm-hmm.
but that's kind of useless unless Vivian is on board. Which Vivian is okay cutting literally anyone at this point.
Mm-hmm.
She has all the allies and is ready to cut every single one of them at any point that she feels necessary for.
And none of them are seeing it coming either. Like she even said, like she was like, I feel like I am like flying under the radar right now, which was crazy for her, who like especially week one, her name was written down. Like usually you don't get to start flying under the radar after that, but she has kind of fallen into this position on the tribe where like everyone is looking to her, but nobody is talking about the fact that they're looking. Like Ricky is almost like a front for her and a shield for her, so that she can like, and she's actually the one puppet mastering the decisions.
Choice words there. It's kind of like she's the Brady to her Erin.
Yeah, honestly, that's not a bad comparison.
Yeah, like you need that meat shield in front of you to hide the fact that you're the one secretly controlling the game.
Exactly. Exactly. You never want to be the loudest person in your alliance.
Yeah, you never want to be the leader of the tribe. Sorry, Parker, but you just can't be.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Ricky did kind of shoot himself in the foot, being kind of too gung ho on like keep Joe, vote off someone else. To where now everyone is kind of like backing away a little bit from Ricky and getting more closer to Vivian.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. You can't be the leader of the tribe, but you also can't be the dissenter. You can't be the one person that's like going against an already established plan, especially if you're part of that plan.
Yeah, and
You know,
especially if it's somebody you have just been discovered pre-existing relationships with.
right? Exactly. Everybody should be worried about pre-existing relationships at this point, considering like that has played at least somewhat of a factor in like most votes so far. Like we know that Joe had his pre-existing relationships with Ricky and Valen. I don't know how, but I think it did seem like people were putting more weight on the him and Haley relationship for that vote than they were for the
Which
other
does not
one.
exist.
Right, which does not.
Welcome, Shane.
Sorry I'm
Hello,
late.
King.
No
Hi.
worries. We were just talking about the beginning of the episode.
What specifically about?
Just kind of like the overall beginning, like, the fact that Tina and Nadia now decide to hide pictures of themselves.
Well, the
The
thing
fact,
is, okay, so a little bit more context. They actually hid most of the photos of themselves. Like these people went hard. They went through like all their Instagram comments. They deleted everything, but there were a couple of them up on their professional fraternities Instagram that they didn't have control over. So those, unfortunately, were not deleted.
so it wasn't just them all of a sudden coming up with the fact like, oh, maybe we should hide pictures of ourselves now
No,
that we've been caught.
no, they just they realized later on, like once they saw that picture, like what had been happening, and then they were like, okay, now we'll hide them. So that
Yeah,
more
we all
people like don't see it. I don't know.
yeah. We also mentioned Parker and his just whole personality.
Well, we can talk about that later too. There's a whole
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And then we also kind of mentioned Vivian pretty much being the Erin of her tribe, like secretly controlling everyone and having Ricky as her Brady shield.
yeah. Vivian is top notch.
And we now kind of move on to the Verandy point of post tribal. We have Valen pouring one out for Joe. I'm hoping she's of age.
She is. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's very of age.
Yes, she is a 22. One. What's the legal age again? 21. I keep wanting to say 18.
But she's also has 3 citizenships, so she's legal in many other countries under.
Yeah, and then Ethan keeps calling it a blindside. It was not a blindside.
Mm-mm.
I think Ethan was just looking to be dramatic.
Shocking.
Dramatic this season? What?
What did he say? He said JFK. What? Who wasn't assassinated? Somebody wasn't assassinated. Like Tina blindsided them.
Something about JFK. Like JFK wasn't assassinated; he was blindsided, and Tina did the blindsiding.
Yeah, there was some quote about that.
Again,
Yeah.
that was just Ethan looking for screen time.
It was quite well. He got it.
Yeah,
It worked.
he got a lot this episode.
He did.
And this kind with the vote off of Joe, Valen kind of hints at villain Tina. Villain Valen is lying dormant and waiting to blow.
We'll see.
Is yeah, I talk is one thing. Whether I believe villain Tina will come out, maybe too late. Like, Erin, do you believe that Valen has a villainous side, or could like mix up the game?
That Valen does.
Yeah, like, does she have that inner villain?
Yeah, I don't see it really. If I'm being honest, I think that she is like she does. She talked about like the villain in her being dormant, but I'm just kind of seeing Valen being dormant. If I'm being honest, like in general, I feel like I don't know. I have maybe it's just like I'm not seeing enough from her yet. Maybe it's just the other, but a big thing to me is like the people that other people talk about in there. And I feel like not a lot of other people are talking about Valen, unless it's like like Valen voted this way, or like I need Valen to vote this way, just like as a number, but not like necessarily. I'm afraid of Valen doing this. Like she doesn't seem to have much agency um, in that kind of sphere. So it's hard to be a villain if you don't have any agency.
Well, also the thing is like she like was talking about like how she was like blindsided, but then like went and like she has the capability. Like people want to work with her. She has the capability to make the moves, but will she?
Right.
Yeah, and I don't believe she will. I think she'll believe their moves, but in actuality, they won't be.
Interesting.
Yeah. And we kind of pretty much side to the challenge, trust rank endurance, where the tribe ranks each other trustworthy, and whoever's the most trustworthy holds their hand up the least, and the least trustworthy, they hold up the longest. Were there any people that you were surprised, like, oh, how come they're this high, or why are they so low?
Parker shouldn't have been that high.
No.
He actually was only high because people didn't actually. I don't know why I didn't include this. I should have. But people actually inflated his rating so that he would feel more comfortable. But he was not comfortable at all. But yeah, he would have been 5 if it weren't for Ricky put him first because he wanted Parker to feel comfortable.
My question is, did anybody? Oh, I'm sure Parker did. Did anyone except Parker like honestly fill out this press list, or was everyone just trying to game it?
I think Nadia did, but
Okay.
those two pretty much, and maybe Vivian, but Vivian again, like it's honest, but like honest, you know.
No, yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
I did love like I think both freshmen, like Ael and Xavier, both kind of had the mindset of like, oh, somebody might find out about these rankings, or like how we in particular did it. So they both kind of messed theirs up to like throw suspicion off of themselves or something. And it's like literally nobody's gonna find out about this. And if they asked you what you did in your rankings, you could lie then when somebody's asking you.
Yeah, I agree. I think they continue to like just be kind of funny and thinking that nobody is onto them.
Yeah, and everybody is onto them.
Yeah, not everybody's onto them. Everybody's known about them. They've moved on from them.
Yeah.
And well, congratulations to Zaman and pretty much dominating that challenge. You have like
We lost like half of that footage, which is why it was so short. But like, there's no way to emphasize how long Valen was holding up the pen after she dropped it. It was like double the amount of time she was supposed to. And like we had to stop the challenge because there was just no way that Zaman could catch. I mean, that Brandy could catch up. Like Jude dropped so early, so incredibly early. Like
So what was the point system then?
so, it was the person who was the least trusted or the most trusted would get 1 point. Then
Okay.
2 would get 2, then 3, and so on. So
okay.
Gotcha.
the person with the most amount of time would get the most amount of points, but it ended up not being necessary.
Yeah, because Valen just had to keep her hand up. These people knew like how many points they were getting, right?
Yeah.
So Valen's just not good at counting.
No.
I just can't comprehend how time would move that slowly. Like, was Valen high?
No, I think I don't know. She just wasn't thinking. But Jude was so early because she sang the first 40 minutes of Hamilton, but really fast.
Oh, oh my god!
Damn it, Hamilton.
Which is really funny because, like, as like somebody who like knows enough of Hamilton, like to know that if you think you're doing 40 minutes, you're probably doing like 15 because you're going way faster than they would ever go. So.
Yeah. Speaking of Hamilton, that's my song medley that I have to do for my final exam this year.
Oh, fun!
How exciting!
Woo! Thankfully, I have that learned off. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, Zaman wins. I pretty much wrote there, thanks to Tina never dropping her arm, but it's just pretty much if Valen and Jude just swapped, like if Valen dropped when Jude did and then Jude just kept her end up, maybe they would have won.
No,
it was hopeless.
It was hopeless.
And we get to after the challenge and everybody talking about their rankings. So Nadia doesn't get why she's second to last.
I just love that it wasn't even like she was just so tunnel focused on like her being second to last that she didn't even look at like, oh, it's me and Tina at the bottom. You know, like that's what she should have been looking at. Like
I Nadia just like doesn't realize like the gravity of how much like because the vote still went her way. She doesn't realize the gravity of people not trusting her,
Mm-hmm.
all the lies. But to her, she's like, oh, these are not even that bad because, like, look what I did at the beginning of the game. But, like, what she's forgetting is that nobody knows about that yet. So, keyword yet.
Yeah. Well, please don't tell when she tells people.
No, I mean, I kind of said this before, but, like, it comes to light with the whole Puppet Master reveal thing.
Oh god, the Puppet Master reveals Nadia has the idol. She planted the fake one on Lauren.
In one way or another.
Yeah, it wasn't Hunter. I mean Parker. Sorry, Vivian.
The Parker,
Uh,
the Parker edit was really good. That was.
Oh my god, yeah. Parker being so upset that he was second. That was, yeah. Lee and I were talking about his ego earlier. And it's just, I just can't understand why he's like, first of all, being number one, like, it's comforting, but it's also dangerous. Because then you see, like, oh, everybody trusts this person just like I do, you know. You don't necessarily want to be number one because that puts a target on your back. But not Parker.
He's talking about Vivian, to be honest, and that's why I didn't include anything in there about that, is because nobody had anything to say about Vivian being number one. Like, literally, they were like, yeah, makes sense.
That's crazy. That's so weird.
Everybody loves Vivian. Like, you have Nadia being salty that she's second from last, and now you have Parker, like, confused on why he's just second.
So salty. That's so funny.
Mate, you're lucky that you're that high. And then him going through it, it's like when a child goes off about something that's like really obvious. Like they're like, "Oh, look, the flower is growing, and it wasn't like that yesterday." Like, oh my god, what is up with this kid?
Well, also, like, let's not forget about, like, people definitely know about this, like, boys alliance too. So, like, of course, they're like not going to be thrilled about that, you know.
Yeah.
God, these straight people, straight confident people, I will never get them. So yeah, and then everybody's just shitting on Parker.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of that episode to edit. I was like, I'm sorry, Parker, but you're just like too good of a character. Like, that's the thing. Parker is like, he's such a good character because like you can be like, oh my god, like what is he saying? But like he's also so like, I think he's maybe like one of the more memorable storylines of this season already, is because he's just so.
Because he doesn't know he's a character. He's not doing it to be a character.
That's what
it's just who he is. I think, oh my god, it's so funny. Just to be that offended that like all of these people in a game of lies don't trust you the most. And it's because you're so honest. Like, that's why they don't trust you.
It's not the thing. It's not that he's honest. He keeps telling people he's honest, and then he does things that aren't honest.
Yeah, that is also true.
Oh yeah, Vivian's like, I like the 3 times the Parker has lied.
Well, one of them wasn't actually true. Like he
never had anything to do with the fake idols. That's just something Joe said.
That was fake, but yeah, the other two for sure. Well, she doesn't even list one of his real lies, which is forging the fake idol.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really funny to me that he got that angry about the Puppet Master blowing them off because he was trying to do something manipulative.
He doesn't like having his time wasted, Shane.
I mean, neither do I, but still. Parker, if you're watching this, you're a great character. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Love you, Parker. You're killing it.
Yeah, I just hope you gain some self-awareness after this season.
So what do we think? Do we think Parker has any sort of longevity in the game, or...
God, no.
No, hell no. 100% not winning.
Okay. No, 0% chance of winning for sure.
Yeah. Whether he makes it far, that's another story, because somebody could have a horrible chance of winning and still make it really far.
I will say, I think if he did make it to Final Tribal, like, we would be in for one of the most entertaining Final Tribal speeches we have ever.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think that would be hysterical.
Yeah, like, a dark side of me kind of wants him to get to Final Tribal just so I can just see how he reacts getting ripped into by these people.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that kind of mean, but I really want to see it. So yeah, Parker, no chance of winning the game. Sorry, mate, but... maybe just be a different person. Also, props to whoever is running your Twitter account for that little video of just
Oh,
this
Danny,
random
yeah.
thing screaming lies.
So Danny is our latest production recruit who goes to UPIT, and she's like a med student who's like graduating, but she really wanted to be involved with Survivor, and so she's having me edit like challenges and tribals, and like doing all the season 4 stuff. And then she was like, "Can I like do the Twitter?" I was like, "Sure." I don't use Twitter, so she's been killing it. So shout out to Danny because I don't know how to use Twitter.
She has been. The Twitter is fantastic.
Yeah. I was watching that video for like a good 15 minutes just laughing.
Yeah, icon.
Because it's so accurate. Because you have the Zaman tribe that are all like, "How dare you lie to me? Like, I'm all about honesty." And then you go to Verandi, where every single one of them are lying to each other for like
They're such
no
a
reason.
fucking mess.
Yeah, because let's talk about Verandi. Why do I keep dropping this? Let's talk about Clark Kent, aka Ale.
Oh
What is
my
with
God.
his obsession with Superman?
It never ends. It never ends.
I just don't understand. He does not become a different person when he takes his glasses off. Like, I don't understand does he think that wearing his glasses makes him like a softer personality? Because it's not.
I want a costume. Like,
Yeah,
like please. If you play again, I want you to bring a costume.
that would be incredible.
Yeah, he just shows up to tribal of like dressed as Superman or Clark Kent, depending on his mood.
Or the Godfather.
Oh, for God's sake.
That's what Ethan's calling him.
To be fair, that's not his own calling. That was Ethan.
No. Yeah.
That was what he. But like, how many times? Take a shot every time Ethan calls him the Godfather. Like,
For real.
Oh God, you'd be dead at the end of the episode.
Well, I really tried to emphasize how much Ethan wants this man out.
Oh, I forgot to mention, nice suit in the challenge, Shane.
Oh, you're welcome. It was St. Patrick's Day, so I felt like. Well, actually, So here's what happened with the suit. So I found it at Target, and I stupidly was like, I sent it to a picture in the Discord. And I was like, if this gets like 40 reactions, I'll buy it. Which I didn't think was going to happen because people don't pay that much attention to the Discord, and it takes forever to get reactions on it. So I was like, okay, there's no way that they're going to like do this by the time I'm leaving Target. Well, sure enough, they did. And,
I love that.
And so I had to buy the suit, but it was only in XXL. So I didn't leave my house, thank God. I think I did wear it to another thing, but I wasn't actually like filming myself. So yeah.
The one time they're all active on Discord.
Love that for me.
Well, you pulled it off. It looks great.
Yeah. Well done.
Appreciate it.
So, Verandi, AL, Clark Kent, all that jazz. Ethan constantly going on about calling him the Godfather. You can tell this guy like just watched Champions versus Contenders 2 on Australian Survivor. Because the amount of stuff they just reference in that season. I don't know if he watches Survivor, but it's too coincidental. When was this filmed again? When was the season filmed again?
With what?
When was the season filmed again?
Spring of last year.
Okay, would have been out for a while then. So pretty much everyone's just like, dude, she's going right. Why does everybody distrust this girl?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do. So obviously Xavier and Nikhil tried to get her out. They're still mad about Anna. Xavier, okay, I'll just say this. Xavier like is like on like a Anna revenge tour right now. Like he's like super mad about her leaving because they were like super tight. And then whatchamacallit, Nikhil obviously wanted Jude out and is his fault that she wasn't. And then Ayal wants Jude out because he just did Lauren super fucking dirty, and Lauren obviously was telling Jude and Nick everything that was happening. And then Valen, for whatever reason, who was aligned with Lauren, is now like, oh, Lauren was out to get us. She's drinking the Ayal Kool-Aid, which is whatever. And Henry is just Henry. So
yeah,
clearly Abby and Ethan didn't want Jude out, but they folded, obviously, because
It was the same. I think it was the same position of like Haley and Renton last week, where it's like they knew it was going to happen, so you might as well go with the vote.
Yeah, not to put a bigger target on you the next time. Which,
Yeah, and Jude wasn't really someone they were like willing to risk their necks out for.
No. Which is sad because I think that was a big loss. I would have personally rather Nikhil go, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think we'd all rather that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No offense to the guys, just you're kind of boring.
Yeah, they get better. Well,
Hopefully.
Parker and they all are like top tier. Like they're hilarious. Ethan is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I really think Xavier has a good story arc. He's just had like a slow kind of rise, I would say. And then who else is left? Who else is on the season? Who are the
Vivian?
No, but who are the other guys?
Who's on the other tribe? Ranjan?
Ranjan, hilarious.
I don't know why, but he just really annoyed me this episode, and I cannot put my finger on it. Maybe it's the way he talks.
Oh,
or
and
how he talks.
Ricky, I mean, Mr. Detective, so I think it's really Henry and Nikhil.
Yeah, we have Mr. Mysterio, Mr. Detective, Mr. Honest, Mr. Superman, Mr. Farm Boy, Mr. Extra Vote. Trying to think of one for everyone now. Who's
really
left?
Call Nikhil. Like they literally go around being like, "Oh yeah, that's Xavier's extra vote."
It's kind of like, not to make another Michigan comparison, but like how Kat was like Shannon's extra vote and nobody did anything about it. Hopefully it's not a repeat.
Well, only time will tell.
Yeah, because Kat and Shannon were actually interesting.
Ooh.
I will say like I said, every single cast member has their moment at one point or another.
And
I will say,
sorry.
I was gonna say I saw some potential from like Xavier this episode when he was saying like I actually clicked with like this new alliance better. It was who was he talking about there? It was like him, Ayal, Ethan, and
Abby.
and Abby. Yeah, I like that for too. Like I obviously adore Ethan and Abby. I think that is a fantastic duo. I love that we're seeing more of them. But I think that Xavier's saying like, oh, I clicked like way better with that 4 than I have with like this big like the 5-person alliance that doesn't include Ethan and Abby. So I think that that's going to give us hopefully some good content moving forward. But obviously we're about to swap again, so it won't. But we'll see.
Well, there's enough drama coming with the swap as it is. So.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yay! Speaking of Ethan, let's talk about him because he puts in a lot of effort with his relationship with Valen. Just like trying to flip her over, like they're getting tipsy together.
That's
like,
the best way to form a survivor bond is to get tipsy, like get a little drunk together. Yeah.
I mean, I actually really think that Valen should be flipping. I don't think that Valen should be working with the people that she's working with, to be honest. Yeah. So it's interesting that she's so loyal to them because I think that she would be much better served if she worked with Ethan and Abby and Jude, who trusted her.
Yeah, because it's really she's in the boys club right now. It's like Ayal, Xavier, Henry, and Teal, right? That she's working with.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't see how any of those people are serving her positively. Like obviously Ayal is gonna look out for himself, number one. And like I don't know. Ayal does seem like he would if it came down to that final 5, he would definitely want to make a big move at that point. And so Valen is kind of her and Henry, I feel like, are in the position of like they're not big moves, They're quieter people, they're quieter players. They're not really, as far as I can see, I don't think either of them really has a resume at this point. So
I mean, it's so early, but
it's only 4 episodes.
But I guess that there is kind of like a large list of people that have resumes already. Surprisingly. Yeah. Well, the Puppet Master.
Well, we don't know who that is yet.
Vivian obviously has a huge resume.
Nadia.
Not anymore.
To a degree. Yeah.
I think Ricky, but it's not even like at this point in the game, it's not even about a resume. It's about like your perception in the game, like your image game and how big of a player like people think that you are,
Yeah. But there's a lot of moves that have been made, so.
And it's only been 4 episodes.
Yeah, and this one is definitely like, I would say like the heightened, like this was maybe one of the like great, like this upcoming week was in one of the groups was one of the craziest tribals we have ever seen.
Very.
Ooh, this should be fun to see.
And not in the terms of like just like of like how it ends up playing out, like in terms of like how like they speak, like the questioning's super boring, but like when it actually goes down, you're like, oh my god, what
This
the
is actually happening.
like when it was one of those moments where production was like, what just happened? And
Love those moments.
I went to like all of their like filmed little things, like I went to the Zoom calls, like I knew what was happening, and I was like, I can't believe that this is happening.
Oh well, that makes me excited for next episode. Can we talk about how like no one in College Survivor has ever come up with a good alliance name? Like they're always sounding terrible.
Hey, I came up with plenty in my season, so
You did not say you came up with good ones. You just said you came up with plenty.
yeah, we came up with some good ones. One of
I
mine,
think
one of mine was called Anti-Tyranny, and I was the dictator. So
Okay, that one's good. I guess I'll have to wait for season 4 to hear a good alliance name in College Survivor.
there are plenty. There's some really good ones in season 3 too. Like, there were some really good ones. Yeah,
Can't say yet.
yeah, they're very good. Anyways,
it's just more. I just have written in my notes like Ethan constantly calling Ale the Godfather,
hmm
and then
I love that.
I was like,
I think it's a fair comparison. Like it's apt. I would
No, I
in
think
this.
it's completely valid.
Mhm.
I think it makes
Yeah,
a lot of sense. I
yeah, it
mean,
definitely makes sense in the 2 conversations that we've seen.
well, I mean, Ayal is definitely like the big. He's like the kingpin.
Yeah,
Like,
he's running that tribe for sure.
he's
Yeah,
been playing the
absolutely.
game since the beginning. Like, since
Yeah. But the thing with him, like that's what the Godfather, like that's what makes him the Godfather, is that everybody knows that he's the one running it. Like whereas on Zaman we have Vivian who's running the tribe, but like people don't necessarily call out that she's the one running it. They don't really necessarily like know that. But
Yes.
Ayal is like, I don't think Ayal would allow himself not to take all of the credit and not to formally call all the shots.
Yeah, at some point he'll probably call himself the Godfather. Who knows?
I mean, it's funny because Ayal texted me like after, like the like whole Superman bit, and he was like, "Oh my god, that was so hard to watch. Like, can't believe I said all those things." And I was like, I'm really sorry, dude. Like, I had to use it. Like, it was
Oh, you're in for it.
It's like, yeah, you guys are getting fucked in these edits.
yeah,
You said something embarrassing, we're going to show it 20 times.
yeah.
I
Again,
think there's like 7 drinking games you can come up with this cast.
again, just
Mhm.
a character that I really just adore. Like, he's so like almost villainous that like you have to root for him.
I'm a huge fan of Ayal. He's grown on me so much. I don't know, something about like just something about that archetype of like it's just so outwardly cocky with like some to back it up, but like not nearly enough.
It's like
It's
Jackson,
so
but,
funny.
like, not as cocky.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's how I view it. I view Ayal as like a more likable Jackson.
I
Yeah,
for
definitely.
one love Jackson,
Well, I mean,
but
as in like the way that the edit has presented.
yeah, that's valid.
Like I'm sure Jackson is like nothing like he is in the show, but like
Oh, that's not true at all.
No, he is.
well, that's what's the thing with Ayal is he's nothing like he is in the show. Like he's completely different. So, but like I actually really liked Jackson, so I'm like that's just another thing. Like,
As Jackson's producer, I will vouch for him.
As someone who went on a season-long rant about how they don't like Jackson until the last 2 episodes he was in,
Yeah,
If
but
I do the Michigan All-Star cast review, I'll talk about Jackson.
so what
Fair
do
to say,
you think
I
about
eventually came
Do you
around.
think that AL with this new swap will probably be in the same kind of control? Do we
Position.
think AL is making do we think he's set up well?
It depends on who he's with. Like, if he's on a tribe with Henry, not pretty much anyone from Zaman, he'll be fine. If he's on with anyone else, like if he's stuck with Abby, Ethan, Runjin, Ricky, like those people, he's screwed.
If he's there with his friends slash like followers,
Allies.
he's fine. But if he's there with other actual strategic players, then he's in trouble.
Yeah, he really needs like Nadia.
Yeah.
A good shield for him.
That would be, I think, even the other way around. Like we were talking about earlier, how like Nadia and Tina might be able to like get back in people's good graces. And I was saying they need like one person who's going to front for them, who's not Parker. I feel like AL could be a good person for that.
Yeah,
because he at least has sway. People want to listen to AL. Nobody wants to listen to Parker.
Well, I will say that Parker, this next episode, continues to take charge. So
I'm not shocked at all.
But it's not even like take charge like in his private conversations. Like he decides that he's going to go on like a public statement to the whole tribe.
Oh. Of course he is.
Oh, because that's worked out plenty of times before.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I enjoy those two very much. I think that they're like when I'm editing them, I'm just like, oh my god, I feel so bad because I'm really not trying to obliterate you like the way that you're getting obliterated, but like it's just such good TV. Like
it's not your fault. Listen, they're the ones that give you the fodder. You are just the artist who knows what to do.
Yeah.
Like anything.
If
they didn't want to be made fun of for stuff that they said, they should have said it.
Exactly. People complain. People can complain up and down about their edits however they want. But like you said that shit, you gotta own it.
I'm gonna complain about it when it's me. Like I called myself killing the villain. Like
then you have to own that.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, and that's something I'm gonna have to watch, and I know it's coming.
Killing the villain.
Well, I mean that makes sense because it's my last name. So
yeah, I know. I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. It's like, are you trying to kill in yourself, or I'll have to wait for season 4.
Yeah. So who else? So who do we think is in the best position right as of now? Who do we think?
Vivian.
Like who do we think the edit is giving the win to right now? Vivian.
Okay, who the edit wins like Ejix? I don't understand all that, and I tend not to believe them very well. It's like it definitely can't be this person because I just had that with Survivor Syracuse where I was like convinced like obviously this person's going to win. Turns out they don't. I don't want to say anything in case nobody here knows what I'm on about.
I definitely was surprised.
Yeah, so I'm not even paying attention to like, okay, who's getting the most confessionals, who's like getting edits. There's like obvious people.
Just like based on the game that's being played, we both think that Vivian is.
Yeah. Yes. I'm with Lee. I don't like reading into the edit either. I think that reading into the gameplay, I would definitely say Vivian.
Who else do we think that is doing super well?
What are
Xavier is doing pretty well. I think he is like in a similar vein of like he is kind of calling a good amount of shots, but he's able to hide behind AL, which is convenient for him. So as long as AL is there, like Xavier, I don't think he's gonna be a target. And he was #1 most trustworthy. People do want to work with him. So I think as soon as he gets himself a little bit more agency, then he could be.
Yeah. I can only think Vivian. I can't really say anyone else has a good shot of winning because I just see so many flaws in the rest of this cast. or I haven't seen enough of them yet.
Mhm.
What are the flaws in, like, say, like Ethan or Abby or even
Abby is somebody
Haley?
that could have a good shot. I don't think we've seen enough of Abby yet.
I agree.
Haley or Ethan, I don't think any flaws have really been shown for them yet.
Yeah.
Haley
It's
received a
flaws
Twix bar.
and oh yeah, Haley accepted a Twix bar, biggest flaw of herself.
Huge flaw.
Yeah. It's like I either see too many flaws in them winning or I haven't seen enough of them yet to say I can see this person winning.
Right. Who are our big Puppet Master suspects right now?
Vivian? All my answers are Vivian.
I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm gonna say Ayal.
Ayal, okay.
Seems
Well,
like some shit he would do.
I think after this next episode, like it'll be like in the teaser of like, oh, the Puppet Master will be revealed, because people figure it out. It's not actually going to be in the edit of like them figuring it out, because it's just not going to be in the edit. But then the episode after will be the whole story because people figured it out. So
How exciting.
I figured
Yeah.
rather than just like leaving an episode with it, I figured, why don't I just start with them realizing who it is?
That'd be fun. I wonder if they figured out who the unmaskers are.
Yeah, right?
So nobody ever figured that out
Until just now.
until after the season, and we told them.
So did she keep posting on it after she got voted out?
I think they like kind of figured like that it was Jude, but like nobody ever talked about it because it was like so like. But I thought that was a really funny thing from Jude. Love her. I love that she was like trying to stir shit up. That's what
Agreed.
she did like a few days earlier, and I think she might have been okay. But
Yeah, that was a cool picture of that first post. I don't know who did it, but nice job, whoever did.
I think she needed to sell somebody out. I think her best chance would have been to sell Ayal out as the Puppet Master and try to place a lot of blame on him, and maybe people would be like, because we even see Nikhil being like, I don't know how much I like this 5, and they're all ready to turn on each other, like, which is so funny because they just made this alliance.
I mean, it's classic Ayal, right? Just to like form an alliance and immediately be like, oh, actually, I think I want to blindside.
Yeah, because immediately you have him and Xavier being like, I'm perfectly ready to blindside this person I knew coming into the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, that's relatable, but yeah, oh god, mess. So what else do we have thoughts about?
What made you want to do 2 swaps?
It's a good question. Well, this was predetermined, and like I said, it really was to just get as many people interacting with each other as possible, which ended up happening. I think by the merge, everybody had interacted with everybody, and so that was like a really big thing that we wanted, because we knew last season we felt like it just was like so sides based on like who had been on the same tribe, but we wanted the merge to be a more dynamic, like, yes, there will obviously be sides, but it's going to be like different sides based on who's formed connections based on all these different like swap teams. And the thing is too, like they're obviously not going to be in these new swap teams for very long, because they're both from the preview, they're both going to tribal this week. So
oh yeah, we have a double tribal coming up. Yay.
so then we'll be down to 12 people next episode, which is
potential merge?
Enough to merge?
Not quite, but basically the schedule is we have a fun little, like I said, the whole like Puppet Master reveal thing after this next episode, and then there's a little fun thing that we did that's a little different before the merge, and then we're gonna take a 1-week hiatus to like do a podcast and recap the whole pre-merge, and then the merge will happen.
So a lot of content before the merge comes.
Yeah, a lot.
It's a rule this season. There must be 2 tribals and then we swap.
That actually is pretty accurate. But
Yeah, good thing you managed to get both go to tribal.
it was the rule of twos. So we said even numbers.
We like even. We don't want to have a cast of 17.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of what's coming up. It's going to be very exciting, especially Tuesday's episode. Well, obviously, I'm obsessed with the Puppet Master story, so like I'm very excited for everybody to figure that out. And some people, a lot of people, have kind of caught on to some things, and some people are very wrong in their assumptions. That I've been reading, I'm like, you guys are really grasping at strings here. Um, there was one comment I was like, wow, you really just like too much.
What was the comment?
I'm not gonna say because I don't want to give it away that whoever may not be, but basically somebody did some research that was very unnecessary. In my opinion.
They're just going off like, this is how Tina's secretly the puppet master.
I saw it in her up poster.
So who do we think would be the biggest shock if they were the puppet master?
Tina.
Tina?
I think Tina, Nikhil, Henry, Valen,
That's a lot of people.
Haley.
Oh, Haley would be a big shock.
Who else is in this cast?
Ethan, Abby,
I can see it being that. I don't see it being Abby.
Xavier,
Potential.
Nadia.
Oh, Parker. Biggest shock to me would be Parker.
Oh, yeah, Parker.
For sure. For sure, 0% chance it's Parker.
He stood himself up.
So we prime suspect is Vivian. Is there a second in command?
Ayal. That's.
Ayal.
I think. Yeah.
The whole cast thinks it's Runjin at this point.
Yeah, I noticed that in like the first episode or second something like.
Yeah, a lot of people saying it's Runjin, but he hasn't really done anything worth suspecting or worth at all.
Yeah, he's just kind of there.
Yeah, he's just not really doing anything impressive.
He seems like the type that would like if he's not going to tribal, he's chilling. You know, like.
Yeah,
why would he?
Not going to tribal, don't have to worry. Although he likes to go on and on about Tina and Nadia.
I don't know if
I'm sure he loves drama, but
that is true.
We can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what his weird obsession is. Like, oh look, Tina and Nadia are the bottom two. Look at you two being at the bottom. Look who's right above them. You're not that far off them, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no mess. Runjin is just. I think Runjin's an entertaining character, but isn't really doing much.
I agree.
Oh God. Yeah. Anything else there really is need to talk about?
Nope, I'm hyped for this week. This is like one of my favorite episodes of the season.
Ooh, big words.
Yeah.
Can't wait for a double tribal because usually something huge happens.
It's so good. Like this storyline is just like it's just so good. Yeah.
Who do we think is going home in this double tribal? Well, Shane, you know. So
I can tell you if you want. I can give you a little preview on what the tribes ended up being.
Oh, as in who's on whose tribe?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
All right. So we called it Last Zaman. On Last Zaman, we had Tina, Parker, Runjin, Vivian, Ethan, Xavier, and who the fuck was the last one? Let me look at my notes. Hold on. I was doing that off the pen. And Henry makes sense. Forgot Henry.
Of course.
Oh.
And then on Verandi, we had Abby, Ballin, Haley, Nadia, Nikhil, Ayal, and Ricky.
Ooh.
Ooh, Ricky might be in trouble over there.
Yeah, Ricky or Nadia would be in trouble.
Yeah.
And then on the first try, Parker
and
Tina.
Tina, yeah.
Tina for sure would be in the most trouble because the fact that she doesn't have Nadia there,
right,
would definitely be like Tina is a high chance of going home.
Well, yeah, I think Verandi is like that's just such a hot mess of people. They all have beef with each other.
Maybe
Yeah.
they should have went to tribal.
And don't forget, somebody's gonna be safe. So
True.
it's
True. Depending
so-
on. Oh yeah, I think it was one of those challenges where it's like
Yeah, it
Hulk
was
was
an
gonna.
I think they had like a can between their hands.
it was an endurance challenge. It only lasted 18 minutes. So
Oh, these people need to work on their endurance.
to be honest, I did that challenge. It's hard as fuck. Like
Yeah, because your hands are like in like this, and
because
you're holding a
the can
can.
is so awkwardly placed that it doesn't really feel like you don't feel like you start losing circulation quite quickly. Like it's bad. Not it.
Yep.
Sounds healthy.
Yeah, not it.
It was a good thing it only lasted 18 minutes.
Yeah. But like people were out with like in the first minute. Like it was
Sounds
yeah. So that's the little tribe preview for this episode.
Oh, goodbye, Lee.
One sec.
So dramatic.
It's 2 in the morning.
Ah,
Movie.
I see.
Yeah, so that's everything I have. I'm
Yeah.
very excited for Tuesday. I think we're in for a good show.
Well, I guess that's it. Thanks, Shane.
If you're
and
not
Erin, for
watching
joining.
Scotty Survivor, you should be because this season is fire and it's just getting started. If you think the first 4 episodes were good, well, 5, 6, 7, 9, they just keep them coming. So yeah, I really don't think from this point forward there's a dud of an episode. So,
Woo!
so
Very exciting. Big words.
I know we've had some like some unanimous votes, but it's time for
Yeah,
that to stop. So
yeah, we all know my love towards them.
it's time for those to go away.
Yeah,
Yay.
please. No more unanimous votes.
Well, I mean,
Woo.
maybe not forever, but for now,
No more common unanimous votes.
yeah.
Listen, I really want to stop typing that 3-1 vote every time. Come on, people.
Mhm.
Give us
Yeah.
a 1-1-1-1 vote.
Oh
Ooh,
well,
yes.
no spoilers, but season 3, there may or may not have been one of those. Maybe.
I can't wait for this season.
I can. I can. Because I don't want to.
Well, thanks, Erin. Thanks, Shane, for joining me here on the podcast. I just immediately forgot how to do an outro. I've done these every time. It's late. I'm tired.
Yeah.
You're doing great. Subscribe to Live Reality Games.
Subscribe to Sky Survivor. Follow all the socials. Join Survivor at a Discord. There's a Scotty Survivor channel. We're all in the Discord.
Yeah,
so
I
we're
want to
all
get the
talking
discussion going in this channel. Come on, people. Like, come join. Come talk.
Yeah. Talk about your favorites. Talk about your least favorites. Talk about I don't know. Talk about the episode. Talk about who you think the Puppet Master is. Talk about how you think Vivian got a microchip in her hand. We still want to know that story.
Yeah, someday.
Maybe if we ever get Vivian on the podcast, because
I'll bring her.
Please.
I will. There will be a day where I will bring Vivian on. Whether that's
Oh my God, I would please. My hero.
Yeah, there will be some guests on the podcast.
Can't wait. Well, if you don't watch the video, there's an audio form. Give us 5 stars, thumbs up, all that podcaster stuff that you hear. Subscribe to Live Reality Games. Subscribe to Scotty Survivor, and we'll see you next time for episode 5, the double tribal of Scotty Survivor Lost in Time. Bye, everyone.